Hey guys, Tom here, and I want to give you guys an update video on the greenhouse map. Now, if you're watching this video, you're probably wondering, like, what the heck is going on? What is taking so long? Why hasn't this map been released already? Um, and I'm sorry, I guess. It is taking a long time. It's taken a lot longer than I think me and Blunt Stuffy both thought that it would. Now if you remember what we did with the realism mod itself, where we kept adding things to it, and that process, getting the mod itself onto the Nuketown map, that took a long time and longer than we thought it was going to, just because we kept coming up with ideas and we just had to add them in there. It kept coming up with new guns or things like that we had to put in there just for fun's sake. And you could kind of say the same thing's happening with the greenhouse map. We just, we're playing through it and we're coming up with ideas and we're like, this just has to make it. And so that's drawing out the process, taking Blunt Stuffy longer to script, and then we got to find the bugs when things don't work, what's causing them not to work, and I'm doing a lot of the play testing for it, and he's doing a lot of he's doing the scripting and the fixes, of course. So yeah, this is taking a bit of time, but gosh, there's just so much fun that we feel is in this map that we have to make sure that we get it right for you guys. So first off, you know that the greenhouse map was supposed to be the first map that had the new zombie realism mod 3.0 on it with the custom perks, unlockable guns, weapons, camos, just a ton of stuff that this was supposed to be the first map to show that off, but we needed a bit simpler of a map, so that's where Nuketown and then Industrial Estate came on, and once we got those ironed out, then we knew that we had a solid mod to then put on a more complex map, and that's what this greenhouse map is, man. It's a more complex map, so that's what we're doing. And now something that I kind of wanted to tell you guys this because what we did with the map, with the greenhouse map, and what we have done and we'll probably continue to do is we took it, and I've taken like 1,000 pictures of this map from various angles, and what we did is we cut the map into like 8 sections, and we just cut it into big chunks, and then we would focus all of our attention on one building or one room or one area, and just brainstorm all of our ideas that we could for this one area. Blunt Stuffy would come up with his own ideas, then we come together and we just make these ideas work. We'd choose the best ones, or we'd choose modified collaborations of both of our ideas to make them the best they could possibly be. Then once we were done with one section, we move on to the next one. So that itself was a process that took a long time, but we felt it was essential to not feel overwhelmed in this process. Like eating an elephant, you just do it one bite at a time. So same thing with this map. We just did it a little bit at a time, so not to get overwhelmed and feel like this way too daunting of a task. So yes, that's taken a long time, but what it's also done is made sure that no part of the map gets neglected. Every part of the map is getting the same amount of attention and detail and everything. So we think it looks pretty good, and it's a lot of fun because there's features in every single area of the map. No part of the map you're gonna think, this part's useless, I'll never go back there. Nope, you're going to have to over and over again, and that's one of the things that we're so proud of. Now, next up, Blunt Stuffy and I are both big fans of maps that can be enjoyed with or without doing the objectives. Sometimes you just want to do a high round run. Just want to survive as long as you possibly can, just have some fun and still be able to see most of the map. Sometimes you want to do the objectives too. So if you don't like doing objectives, they're not your thing, you don't like how complicated they can be, then we have a really nice high round map for you guys. I'd say about 90% of the map itself can be accessed just by doing some very basic things like buying debris, opening doors and things like that. You should be able to access most of the map without doing anything that requires much thinking whatsoever. So you like just doing high round stuff, putting on some jams and loading up a game of zombies and just killing stuff, then we've got a map for you. If you like objectives, then we think that you're in for a real treat also, because there's quite a bit of stuff to do in this map, and I'd say it's different than any map you've ever played before. We even came up with our own custom puzzle that's never been seen in zombies or it's probably been seen in other games before, but definitely not in zombies. And so we're really excited to see how people react when they see something that they're very unfamiliar with. And but I will say that there's nothing that's cheap. It's not like you're going to have to shoot something that's 10 miles away, that you needed a sniper rifle to see, to look in just the right spot, and there's no way in the world that you'd figure it out unless we leaked a hint. No. There's nothing like that. With some searching around, which is going to require you to search around the map, if you do some basic searching around, make sure everything's in plain sight. You just have to look in the right spot. You'll be able to figure it out. But I guarantee that, maybe guarantee is too strong. Some people are super geniuses when it comes to objectives, but most people aren't going to be able to figure this out the first time, or the second time, or the third time. So what you're going to have to do is, every time you play, you'll learn a little bit more about the map. So then take what you learned during that gameplay, go into the next one, and get a little bit farther through the objective, a little bit farther, and then you should be able to make it through and complete the objectives. And there's some really, really satisfying rewards for getting further and further through the objectives and completing it. Some maps, the objectives don't give you much, like, you just get all perks and a ray gun or something like that. Now, we're not doing that. We're taking it a little bit different of a direction, and I think that you really will feel rewarded for what you get in the end, and also for, I guess, like the boss battle in the leading up to the end. We think that it's different than what's been done before, and I think that you'll feel satisfied completing it. So we're really happy with all those things. But yeah, like I said, it will take some time. So don't just treat this like a map that you're going to be able to play for 20 minutes and then you'll get the you win screen and you beat it and on to the next thing. You'll have to play it a few times. You'll have to dedicate some serious time and effort if you want to get through. But we think that all the objectives are a lot of fun. Alright guys, I can't really show you any of the objectives without giving too much away. I would like to show you guys some part of the objectives, but I just don't feel like I can do that at this point. If I did, I feel like I might ruin something accidentally, and I don't want to ruin this experience for anybody. I hate freaking movie trailers that give away the important, parts of the plot of the movie, and I don't want to accidentally do something in playing this that's going to ruin it. So what I will do is I'll show you some of the extra features of the map, and just some of the fun things. I'll show you some in-game footage of what you can expect and some of the fun extras that we added to it. So, Blunt Stuffy and I had a map, okay, but then we kept wanting to add more fun to it. I think I said that earlier. And so I want to show you some of the things that we just kept adding, and how I think that it's going to change it for the better in the end and make it not just a high round map, or not just a map that, okay, I got to go do the objectives, but there's going to be other things that are going on at the same time that you're doing the objectives that you're going to have to take into consideration. Like you'll be maybe going for one of the objectives, trying to complete it, and then something comes up, an event comes up that you have to deal with before you can complete the objectives, and you got to figure out, what's it worth to me? Do I go deal with this thing right over here, or do I let this event happen and keep on doing the objective, or do I divert my attention and then come back to what I was doing later? So there's going to be some things you have to think about, and I'll show you some of those things. So just give me 1 second, and let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, guys. Here are some of the extra features of the map. Now, we always wanted to do more, to add more fun to the map, to give you, the zombie fan, more to do and more to have to think about as you're running around killing zombies. That being said, there are bomb sites located around the map, a total of 6 of them if I remember correctly, and they will arm themselves one at a time, and then a couple minutes later they will explode. Now, if you disarm one of these bomb sites, then you'll have a bomb in your inventory to use for other fun things. In this case, we're turning a dead end into an escape route. And there are a variety of places that you can plant these bombs and blow open areas to give you better access to other parts of the map, like little shortcuts around the map or blowing open important doors. Now, in this next demonstration, you'll get to see what happens when I don't defuse a bomb in time. Sometimes these explosions will alter the layout of the map, blocking you off from accessing an area of the map from that direction. And as you can see, this building is now blocked off from the hallway that was there before. This makes defusing the bombs a high priority in order to keep the flow of the map open and to give yourself the highest chance of survival. So based on what bombs you choose to disarm and which you choose to allow to blow up, your game could look and play somewhat differently each time you play it. Now this next one is more of an objective related feature, but we do have some colored skulls around the map, which you'll need to locate and then take to a centrally located building and deposit there in order to progress. And Blunt Stuffy and I both think this area looks pretty badass. And finally, Blunt Stuffy is hard at work on this map, and I'm playtesting it constantly to make sure that we get this stuff right and to deliver a product to you that we are proud of and that we think that will be a lot of fun to play. Now let me leave you with one last taste of this map, and always, thank you very much for your patience. Talk to you later, guys.
Right through the top of his head!